The toughest sanctions in history were aimed at degrading our economy and then destroying Russia. However, contrary to the expectations of the West, our beloved country has not only withstood the blows of sanctions hysteria, but is now developing industry at a tremendous pace. Import substitution has made and is making a significant contribution to these processes, which is the subject of today's review. A total of 18 import substitution projects were implemented in March 2024. So, the EMIS company continues to work on import substitution in the field of control and measuring instruments. A new Vortex flowmeter EMIS Veeker 200 with 2 sensors has been added to the product line. This version of the device is used when it is necessary to receive redundant flow signals, e.g. in emergency protection systems. Previously, only imported flowmeters were used in PAS systems at Russian industrial enterprises. Now there is a domestic analog 2-sensor EMIS Veeker 200, which maximally corresponds to the tasks of automatic safety systems in production. MMK Métis, a member of MMK Group, launched a new production of import substituting fasteners and wire. The production volume of rebar, galvanized, and welding wire will be more than 105,000 tons per year, and machine and railway nuts 4,200 tons per year. In their manufacture, exclusively domestic raw materials are used. The total investment in the project amounted to 1.5 billion rubles. The Federal Industrial Development Fund provided 500 million rubles in the form of a soft loan for the purchase of high-tech equipment. The new production of MK Métis is aimed at meeting the growing demand for hardware products and reducing the volume of imports in the Russian fasteners market. Earlier, according to Dolia's estimates, supplies of welding alloy wire and machine-building nuts from abroad reached 50%. Novacard, a Nizhny Novgorod-based company, has announced the start of sales of SIM cards equipped with a domestic operating system. This was reported in the press service of the organization, stressing that the new operating system, called SIMart.me, was developed entirely in Russia and included in the Unified Register of Domestic Software. SIMart.me supports both international and domestic subscriber authentication algorithms, which is important for cybersecurity. Mobile operator MT became the first buyer of SIM cards with Russian OS. Until recently, all SIM cards produced for Russia were based on foreign components and technologies, Novacard said. Biomeo brand, part of Splat Global's portfolio, has launched production of PMM dishwasher tablets at its own Capella factory in Dzerzhinsk, Nizhny Novgorod region. While production has been launched in test mode, the company's goal is to gradually abandon contract manufacturing in Denmark and fully localize production in Russia. In the initial phase, production of 2 types of tablets for PMM Biomeo in different prepackaging formats has been launched. The company also plans to reach an annual capacity of over 80 million PMM tablet units. For this purpose, it has purchased a new production line that includes both domestic and foreign equipment. Special raw materials were also selected, and their logistics were arranged for smooth production. At SPC, Spring increased production capacity to 1.4 million automobile springs per year and produced the 1 millionth spring for the domestic automobile industry. In 2024 to 2025, the company plans to produce springs for more than 300 models of modern cars. This will allow to provide the capital's market of foreign cars with quality springs of increased reliability and durability to replace the products of European manufacturers that have left the market. JSC Transneft Pumps TNN manufactured and delivered 6 centrifugal pump units to the customer JSC UST Lugoil. ND 1550 pumps are produced within the framework of import substitution program. They are characterized by high efficiency values in the order of 88% and low cavitation reserve values. According to these indicators, the equipment is superior to its foreign counterpart. Development of design documentation and mastering of new size and centrifugal pump units was carried out by the plant's own forces. The development, manufacturing, testing, and preparation of the process chain for the production of the pumps took 2 years. Domestic manufacturer of vacuum stringing systems Yamaya Engineering LLC has launched stainless steel piping systems in St. Petersburg. KMZ holding company Kingisepp Mashzavod started production of bimetallic bearings for high-power diesel engines, which were previously produced by the Austrian company Maybach. Austrian suppliers of Maybach, which left the Russian market, used to provide these parts in Russia for almost all powerful diesel and gas turbine units for the automotive industry and military-industrial complex enterprises. At Rosatom, in particular, these bearings were used on automated diesel generators for emergency support of the main reactor of NPPs. Russia's largest microelectronics manufacturer Micron has launched at its site in the Special Economic Zone Technopolis Moscow a line for assembling microchips into plastic cases, as well as an additional line for producing chip modules for bank cards, electronic documents, and SIM cards. Total investments in production development amounted to 1,350 million rubles. Of these, the Federal Industrial Development Fund provided just over 1 billion rubles in the form of a soft loan for the purchase of 61 units of high-tech equipment. A WebRF surety bond has been provided as collateral. Micron's factory has launched the first assembly line for its new product of chips in a plastic package. Production is set up in a full-cycle format from crystal manufacturing, integrated circuits to packaging. Thanks to this, Russian electronics manufacturers will get a stable supply of chips, not depending on imports, and will be able to increase the localization of their products. SMM Group specialists designed and manufactured 3 special offshore cranes S750 within the framework of the import substitution program. So far, the testing of one of the cranes has been successfully completed. The tests were conducted on a company-owned 5500 TM tilt test rig to simulate roll and defect of the crane under test from 5 to 15 degrees. The extensive S750 cranes are designed to operate on ice-resistant fixed platforms. The cranes have a maximum lifting capacity of 45 tons. The new CO 2020 aircraft addressable responder, capable of replacing similar foreign products, is approved for installation on any civilian aircraft and helicopters. This was reported to TASS in the press service of the Institute of Aviation Construction Device Navigator, which is the developer of the product. Navigator has received a certificate of component product suitability for the new CO 2020 airplane ATC addressable responder. Issuance of the document means that the equipment can be installed on any civilian airplanes and helicopters. The new radar responder can be installed both to modernize existing Russian equipment and to replace similar foreign responders, the organization said. Domestic propellers for FPV drones started to be produced in Novosibirsk. The production capacity allows for the production of up to 4 million pieces annually. This was reported by the executive director of the Spectrum Design Bureau, Andrei Bertinkov. To quote, "We launched production of propellers for FPV drones in Novosibirsk. The main problem was that earlier people actually had to bring fresh air from China since propellers are not pressed. They are bulky and take up a lot of space. It was very expensive to import them from China. We analyzed the plastic and selected a material that is available in large quantities in Russia currently. We are safely producing domestic propellers on a thermoplastic automatic machine," said Bertinkov. According to him, the capacity of the Design Bureau Spectre allows to produce up to 4 million copies of products annually. As the specialist specified, at the moment there is only one company in Russia, besides our design bureau, producing propellers for FPV drones. Rossetti opened a digital networks intellectual laboratory in St. Petersburg. The new research center has no analogs in Russia. He will be engaged in the development, testing, and certification of equipment, creating breakthrough solutions in the field of energy. Investments in the project exceeded 3 billion rubles. The laboratory allows us to conduct sophisticated research, test digital systems, evaluate the effects of electromagnetic radiation and solar radiation, and study new energy transfer technologies. In addition, equipment can be tested here under extreme conditions, for example, for Arctic exploration. Achieving technological sovereignty is not only import substitution, but also the development of breakthrough technologies. The project is primarily focused on solving this problem, said Andrei Ryumin, General Director of Power of City. The most powerful real-time power system modeling complex in Russia, which surpasses many foreign analogs in terms of its performance, was created specially for the laboratories. In Tolyatti, a supplier of gasoline tanks for Avtovaz carried out import substitution of products. Daipo has so far purchased foreign high-density low-pressure polyethylene, but now uses material produced by the Russian holding company Sibir. The adhesive layer was replaced at the same time. His new supplier was Okopol. Full domestic gas tanks have recently been mass-produced for the Lada Granta. Investments in the project amounted to 200 million. The annual benefit from switching to Russian materials is estimated at 300 million rubles. Chelyabinsk SKB Turbina has launched serial production of turbochargers for diesel engines, locomotives, small ships, and special equipment. The first 15 products of the TKR 201 line have already been produced. They will be used as part of the 6DM 185T engines for TM 14M shunting locomotives. Earlier such diesels were equipped with Swiss compressors. Now they will be replaced by analogs of South Ural production. The enterprise received funds for the project implementation from the Russian and Chelyabinsk Oblast DDFs under the Joint Program Development Project. The new plant for the production of freezing appliances was launched on March 6th. The opening of the Craft Technology Facility was another step towards reducing the dependence of the domestic economy on imported supplies. The project was implemented within the framework of an agreement that was signed at the International Industrial Exhibition and Prom 2022. About 1 billion has been invested in the establishment of the enterprise. Rubles, 150 jobs were created. Annually, up to 100,000 units of freezing equipment will be produced here, which was previously produced outside the Rostov region. A plant for the production of functional proteins and dietary fiber was opened in the town of Alexeivka, Belgorod region, by the oil and fat holding EVCO. The volume of investments in the project amounted to 3.5 billion rubles. About 130 jobs are envisioned at the facility, the company said. The company's main products will be soy isolates and concentrates, as well as vegetable fiber. They are designed for use in the meat processing, bakery, and confectionery industries. These ingredients are also the basis of dietary and sports nutrition, EVCO said. Group CEO Eugene Lashenko added that the first phase of the plant will produce about 5,000 tons of products per year. Right now, functional proteins and dietary fiber are predominantly imported from other countries. In the coming years, we will be able to fully cover this need with domestic products made from Russian environmentally friendly raw materials, without GMOs, Lashenko added. Mami Metal Construction Plant started production of explosion-proof panels within the framework of the import substitution program and tested their durability. The panels were burned and exploded at a special test site in the presence of explosion technicians and engineers of the company. All tests confirmed the correctness of the calculation methodology. One of the two tests was to burn the panels, testing how long the panels held a certain temperature. Did it for the oil men. Hydrocarbon combustion can withstand somewhere around 1,200 degrees Celsius. Alexander Tsarov, general director of Mami ZMK, said that the integrity of the structure after burning lasts for 120 minutes. A total of 18 import substitution projects were implemented in March 2024.